Hi guys, and welcome to another episode of Kabir Considers. In this video, I'm going to react to Mike Tyson's intimidating aura. Now, for me personally, I think Mike Tyson is probably my favorite boxer of all time. Like, this is a guy who was 5'10", you know, so he was height-wise smaller than me, yet he is the youngest undisputed heavyweight boxing champion ever. Like, he was beating guys who were like 6'5", you know, hugely, like much bigger than him, but his insane power and speed, you know, managed to get him to the top. Incredible. I'm not sure if it'll ever be repeated again. I think he won the championship at like 19 or 20. Imagine that. So this video here, when it was suggested to me, I knew I had to put it on my list because I love Mike Tyson. I've never seen this video, and yeah, I just want to see what it's all about. So let's do it.
Mike Tyson used his intimidating aura to
neck.
give himself an added advantage before and during a fight.
I was beating guys off of just pure brute strength and intimidation.
Just thick, like he's not tall, but he's very dense.
Most guys were just pretty much intimidated. They lost the fight before they even got hit.
After menacing pre-fight quotes and behavior,
if he doesn't die, it doesn't count.
Tyson would eye up his opponents from the moment he entered the ring, and he often sensed fear by looking at their body language and facial expressions.
I walk around the ring, but I never take my eyes off my opponent. I keep my eyes on him, even if he's ready and pumping. He can't wait to get his hands on me as well. I keep my eyes on him, I keep my eyes on him, I keep my eyes on him. Then once I see a chink in his armor, boom, and one of his eyes may move, and then I know I have him. Then when he comes to the center of the ring, he still looks at me with his
I mean, did you see the height difference here? Like, look at this. This is at least 5 inches, I'd say. Yeah, he's probably going to knock him spark out.
He still looks at me with his piercing look, and as if he's not afraid, but he already made that mistake when he looked down for that 1/10 of a second. I know I had him.
Tyson scored many quick and brutal knockouts throughout
body
his whole
shot.
career,
Ooh, uppercut.
22 of them coming at the very first round, and having a reputation as a devastating power puncher that could end a fight in the blink of an eye further enhanced his intimidating aura.
That was a right to the body and an uppercut to the head, and Berbick is down. It's over. That's all, and we have a new era in boxing.
The best example of Tyson's intimidation affecting an opponent before a fight came on June 27, 1988, when he faced Michael Spinks in a huge unification fight for all 4 heavyweight championship belts.
Now we'll see who's the champion and who's the chump.
Both men were undefeated.
To be honest, Tyson is a scary looking mofo. Like, I mean, he's a really nice guy, but I mean, like, you would not, even if he wasn't a boxer, you would not want to fight a guy who looked like him. I mean, the dude looks like he hits hard.
Tyson held the WBC, WBA, and IBF belts, while Spinks was the lineal champion. On the night of the fight, just minutes before Spinks was due to ring walk, there was chaos around Tyson's dressing room area after Butch Lewis, Spinks' manager, complained about a bump in Tyson's left glove and demanded that it be rewrapped.
Moments ago, in the dressing rooms, a major controversy erupted. You're looking at a tape shot of Butch Lewis, the manager of Michael Spinks, who went wild after he discovered that Mike Tyson had his hands taped and apparently had the gloves put on without a representative of Spinks' camp being in Tyson's dressing room.
Ah, because they usually inspect it to make sure that there's no, you know, metal things in the glove.
Lewis's protest over the bump delayed the fight. Tyson began pacing his dressing room, and in a moment of anger, he punched a hole through a wall, and the thudding sound was heard by Spinks in his dressing room.
Butch Lewis, who's Spinks' manager, went, as you would go into in every championship fight, the dressing room of your opponent, to watch their hands being wrapped.
I had just finished taping his hands, and so Butch Lewis tried to make a thing about it.
Which so aggravated Mike, who was already on edge, that he threw his hand out through a wall.
Spinks had heard that, and that it was the sound of Mike punching the hole through the wall which had prompted Michael to be reticent about coming into the ring.
The matter was eventually resolved when Spinks' trainer, Eddie Futch, was called in and he inspected Tyson's left glove and said that it was fine. As Butch Lewis and everyone else involved left the dressing room.
Is he wearing, hold on a minute, is he wearing no shirt or is that like a brown jumper? Because it looks like he's wearing like a bow tie with a blazer.
As Butch Lewis and everyone else involved left the dressing room area, Tyson turned to his trainer Kevin Rooney and said, "You know, I'm gonna hurt this guy." Legendary trainer Emmanuel Stewart was at the fight and went to check on Spinks during the delay and compared him to a deer caught in the headlights.
Headlights.
In an interview from the book One Punch from the Promised Land, Stewart said, "I went into his dressing room and they couldn't even get him to come out. He was so scared. He was a nervous wreck, really freaking out." 20 minutes after he was originally due to ring walk, a visibly nervous Spinks left his dressing room and made his way to the ring.
Mike Spinks makes his way as the crowd touches him.
Yeah, he looks a bit sheepish. You can see it. He's not really, doesn't seem confident in his abilities.
He has more of a look of concern on his face as he makes his way to the ring. Oh, to see this. Michael Spinks makes his way into the ring.
In contrast, Tyson marched to the ring without a robe, bare-chested and dripping with sweat, with a deafening drone noise chosen as his entrance music.
Damn.
This heavy metal sound that you hear is Mike Tyson about to make his way in, I believe. The sound is deafening here in the arena, so I won't try to yell over it. It's interesting to note that Mike Tyson selected as pre-fight music just noise. Every once in a while you hear the clanging of chains. I think that's what he's got in mind to do to Mike Spinks' head, but we'll wait and see.
I have to say, okay, but I reckon Tyson, if he never went to prison and if Customato hadn't had died so early in his career, probably would have went down as a top 3 to 5 heavyweight of all time. I think him going to prison, it diminished his abilities. What do you guys think? Where would you place Mike, like all time, and then where would you place him had he not, messed up and gone to prison? Let me know. He did have trouble with tall boxers, tall heavyweights like Lennox and people like that, but I don't know. I feel like he could have done better against Lennox had it not been for what happened.
Everything that Tyson does is intimidating. There he is. He comes out. He doesn't wear a coat in. He's worked up a full sweat. I want to tell you, the electricity in this crowd is awesome. I've got goose pimples on my arms watching this event, and a lot of people in here do. You know all the history. You've been reading about it for the past several weeks. The heavyweight champion of the world comes into the ring. This is why we're here.
Spinks continued to look nervous during the introductions, while Tyson bounced around and paced up and down the ring. And when called into the center of the ring for the referee's final instructions, there was no eye contact between the pair.
All right, both of you touch gloves. Good luck to both of you.
Tyson attacked Spinks from the opening bell and landed a solid left hook to the head and a right hand to the body.
Spinks, give a little movement. Keep those hands
high. The combination
After
work.
being constantly pushed back, Spinks tried to slow Tyson down by clinching him a couple of times.
Tyson not afraid, as we expected, and Spinks ready to mix it up with.
Every punch has got bad intentions, man.
A minute into the contest, Tyson attacked Spinks along the ropes, and a left uppercut folled by a right hand to the body forced Spinks to take a knee.
Look at this. Bang, and then this one.
It was the left uppercut.
I was surprised there was a body shot that put him to the canvas.
After Spinks took a count of 8, both men moved towards each other. Tyson rolled with a right hand from Spinks and responded with a left-right combination that landed flush on the jaw and put Spinks down again.
A right hand right on the chin.
6, 7, 8.
Spinks was unable to beat the count, and the fight was over after only 91 seconds.
He's not going to make it. It's all over. All right, what happened? What was all the delay about before? Do you think Michael just didn't want this to get here this quick?
I think he was trying to scrutinize with my brain and make me wait it out. But, you know, I was getting upset. I wanted to go. I'm the kind of guy who want to fight. Let's get in there and fight.
It's crazy how Mike is so, like, jacked, or, like, in his prime, he was so jacked and devastating, but his voice, it just didn't match, you know?
I'm in the dressing room with Tyson, and I'm looking to rattle this guy. I walk in, and he's punching, standing there. He and Rooney's putting something on. He's punching holes in the wall. I'm like to myself, oh no. This guy's getting ready to fight my guy, my little guy. And he's punching holes in the wall before he goes out to fight? Oh no.
Mike Tyson, man, one of a kind, one of one. I don't think you're going to see it again, honestly. Someone 5'10", maybe 210, 215 pounds, maybe 220, but I reckon probably more like 215, that becomes the undisputed heavyweight champ. I just don't see it. Like, look at what we have now, you know, with Fury, Anthony Joshua, Deontay. These guys are all humongous, 6'6", 6'7". You know, 5'10". It's just an unbelievable achievement. Just a unique, amazing fighter. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.